Hey guys, we're from Group 5 and today we will talk about discovering the world from Group 5, the political science. So actually, what are we going to discuss? So actually, we're going to discuss about something that are unusual. But before that, let me introduce our theme. The first one is Bunga Ikhlasul Fusila, Sasha Hashifa, Mizeda Munkar, Nadia Shahira, and also Amanda Anissa. So actually, what are we going to talk about? So we are going to talk about MENA. So what is MENA? Actually, MENA is an acronym from Middle East and North Africa region. So it's actually introduced by the United Nations to identify approximately 22 countries in the world that are get along into this MENA region. So what countries are in? So if you guys know the Saudi Arabia and then the Egypt, Iran, Israel, Libya, Algeria, and etc. And you can also find it on the Google from the Morocco until the Israel things. But actually they didn't have members that are really in, but they changed regarding the cooperation or something. But actually this is just a region name of the MENA. So why did we choose MENA? So actually, we already conduct a research based on MENA. We did a lot of research and we found three main reasons why we chose MENA. The first one is MENA regions hold more than half of the world's oil reserve. So actually, it is a topic that kind interesting for us because it's so oil is expensive, so actually it might be the MENA region is rich or something or wealthier than the other region, but we can discuss it later. And the second one, the region is nonetheless afflicted by persistent conflict, so it's like a civil war or inter-country war or something like that that we used to know about the Israel and Palestine, also the Iraq, Iran, and something like that. And actually the third one is the most booming things. It's the United States and Russia that are supporting the opposite sides of the countries in MENA region, so that we can really analyze what is the factor, what is the effect, and how that they connected to each other. So next we will discuss about the countries that are we going to talk is the first one is the Saudi Arabia, and then the Iran, and then also the Egypt. So let's move on to the next discussion.
Saudi Arabia, by far the largest economy in the MENA region, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia report a gross domestic product of 833 billion dollar in 2021. The country is highly dependent on petroleum and natural gas, which provide some 90% of the country's export earnings. Political system Islamic monarch. First, king and ministry. The government is headed by the king, who is also commander-in-chief of the military. The king governs with the help of the council of ministers, also called the cabinet. There are 22 government ministries that are part of the cabinet. The second one is consultative. The king is advised by legislative body called Consultative Council or Majelis al-Shura. The council proposes new laws and amends existing ones. It consists of 150 members who are appointed by the king for 4 years terms that can be renewed. Economic system. Petroleum is an integral part of the Saudi economy as Saudi Arabia is the world's largest producer and exporter of oil. The government has an essential role in industrial and economic development. The Ministry of Economy and Planning formulates economic and social development plans that set long-term economic goals. Additional sectors of the economy are overseen by individual ministries, such as agriculture, energy, transportation, communications, and finance. Governmental system and ideology. The basic system of government identifies the nature of the state, its goals, responsibilities, as well as the relationship between the rule and citizens. It defines the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as an Arab and Islamic sovereign state. Its religion in Islam, its constitution is the Holy Quran and the Sunnah. The king, who also acts as prime minister, ensures the application of the Sharia and the state's general policy, and supervises the protection and defense of the nation. The crown prince is appointed by the king. Member of the council of ministers assist the king in the performance of his duties. In defining the relationship between the ruler and the people, the system emphasizes the equality of all Saudi citizens. All are equal before God in the concern for the well-being, security, dignity, and progress of their nation. All citizens are also equal before the law.
Political challenges. Since the beginning of the first Saudi state in the 18th century through the founding of the modern Kingdom of Saudi Arabia by the late King Abdulaziz bin Abdel Rahman Al Saudi on September 23, 1932, Sharia Islamic law has been the pillar and source of Saudi Arabia's basic system of government. It identifies the nature of the state and its goals and responsibilities, as well as the relationship between the government and its citizens. In 1992, the King Fahd introduced a new basic law for the system of government and the regulations for the provincial system and Majlis al-Shura, consultative council. The following year, he announced bylaws for the Council of Ministers system. In October 2003, the cabinet approved procedures for the elections of half of the members of the municipal councils as a start towards greater participation of the citizens in the governing of the country. Iran's complex and unusual political system combines elements of a modern Islamic theocracy with democracy, a network of elected, partially elected, and unelected institutions influence each other in the government's power structure. And in October 2003, the cabinet approved procedures for the elections of half of the members of the municipal councils as a start towards greater participation of the citizens in the governing of their country. Iran is the fifth largest economy in the MENA region, like Saudi Arabia. Petroleum exports play a major role in the country. Iran was one of the greatest empires of the ancient world and has long maintained a distinct cultural identity by retaining its own language and adhering to the Shia interpretation of Islam.
Economic system. Iran is a mixed economy with a large public sector. It is the world's 19th largest by purchasing power parity or PPP. Some 60% of Iran's economy is centrally planned. It is dominated by oil and gas production, although over 40 industries are directly involved in the Tehran Stock Exchange. Ideology. The ideology of the Iranian Revolution has been called a complex combination of pan-Islamism, political populism, and Shia Islamic. Religious radicalism, a struggle against paganism, oppression, and empire. First, there's a supreme leader. The supreme leader is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and appoints several positions including judiciary, media networks, and commanders of military forces. The second is president. The president is the highest state authority figure and is responsible for implementation of constitution, exercising executive power, selecting government policy for legislature, and appointing the council of ministers. The last is judicial and legislative. The Supreme Court is the highest court of the land and has jurisdiction over all constitutional cases. The Islamic Consultative Assembly drafts legislation and ratifies treaties. Domestic challenges. Today, the Iranian regime under the Islamic Republic's rule routinely punish activities and religious and ethnic minorities for peaceful activities, preventing the free exercise of belief and expression. Thousands of prisoners of conscience are currently detained in Iran.
Egypt, with a 2020 GDP of $365 billion, Egypt represents the largest market in Mena as the third largest economy in MENA region. 6. The World Bank GDP current US dollar. Middle East and North Africa world. Political and government system. Egypt has embarked on a democratic and political transition led first and foremost by the Egyptian people's aspiration for a better future. This political evolution is unlike any Egypt has achieved in its modern history. Driven by our citizens' demands for both political stability and economic progress. We are together building a new Egypt, one with an inclusive, accountable, responsive, and democratic government, and one that provides an change and more prosperous for the future of citizens. Economic. Egypt's economy relies mainly on agriculture, media petroleum import, natural gas, and tourism. Egypt also has ideology. The Egyptian institution proclaims the Arab Republic of Egypt to be a democratic state with Islam and its state religion, and Arabic its national language.
Hi, back again with me. So I will be discussing the last part, but it's not the last, but I mean the last part of the domestic changes of the last country that we will discuss, the Egypt. So actually we are already going through a deep research about the Egyptian governmental system and also the governmental changes or something, and then we found that in the President Hosni Mubarak during the 2011 the Arab Spring protest, they have undergo the domestic changes that are really affect the governmental system and also the socio-cultural system that we know here is the textile industry and then the employment and then all of the outside tourist investors that are the Egyptian government already try to overcome too. And then the next one is the last. So the last question that we would like to answer is what is the similarities between those three countries. So actually we already know that all three countries that we have discussed before is in the same region. I mean in the same umbrella. That was the MENA region, the Middle East and North Africa regions. They share a lot of cultural, economic, environmental similarities across those countries. And actually that we have discussed before, they hold half of the world's proven oil reserves that are the investment, the opportunities of the non-governmental organization, the foreign investor or something that can help those countries to grow. And then actually the last but not least is the several MENA economics are deliberately reorienting their economics to the fossil fuel exports that are we most interested in. Why? Because if the fuel, the fossil, the oil reserve that are cost a lot of money and produce a lot of money, so that we would love to dive more into this MENA region in the next opportunities maybe. So actually guys, you already know all about the MENA regions and the three example of the countries. So if you guys want to know more, you can just contact our group or maybe just ask when we are meet in the class, because we would like to study more and study deeply about the MENA regions. Okay, so everyone, thank you for watching and I hope you guys like our presentation and also our material. So see you guys in next opportunities. Bye.